Oh, hey guys. So, you're at home for a few more days, but I came across this article, I don't know, like a week ago, and I figured I'd make a video about it. Because, why not? But it's a pretty small one. It's not, it's like, sort of like the Loves one I did, no, what? A few months ago? I don't remember. But the Loves up in Montana, where, that whole little tiny ass village cried because the Loves wanted to build a truck stop there, and they 5 years in the making, and then that little town stopped it. But the headline is interesting. Americans value truck parking for facilities, but not in their backyards. Which headline, I can understand that. But by backyard, they mean 3 miles. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so I am not going to read this part because this part is just about cloud trucking or cloud trucks, and it's just pretty much just tells you cloud trucks did a survey of 1,000 people, and this was the results. About 56% of 1,000 American adults surveyed were unfamiliar with the issue. Truck parking, right? Makes sense. About 21%, so a little over 200 people didn't realize that many drivers end up sleeping in their vehicles, reflecting a lack of knowledge of the inconveniences and safety risks they encounter on a daily basis. There's already 200 people that don't understand that a lot of drivers sleep in their trucks. That's only 1,000 people. Imagine if this is like nationwide survey instead of regional survey. And by regional, it's pretty sure that it is city based, or you just volunteer online, right? It's just 200 people on 1,000. Once these aspects were explained to them, 86% recognized truck parking as an important issue, and 95% supported the building of overnight parking facilities. Cool. They were uneducated on the problem, got educated, saw it was a big issue, and agreed with it. However, 88% said they would only support the construction of facilities that were at least 3 miles from their homes. So now we're getting into the Loves problem, the chicken and the egg. Because there's a lot of places with meat plants or just random plants, right, where they were originally built outside of town, but then the town grew around them, and now they're in the middle of the town, like Schreiber in Tempe, Arizona. Okay, you could tell when that place was built. It's a tiny place, but it is surrounded. But I almost guarantee, just by the area, that there was nothing there when they built that thing. Nothing. I follow Arizona's DOT page on Facebook, right? And sometimes they post pictures of what Arizona looked like back in the 60s, 70s, hell, even the early 90s, and I'm like, holy shit, going to Phoenix a lot? Yeah, they post pictures of Phoenix, what I mean. Going to Phoenix quite a bit and seeing the before and nows, it's like it went from nothing, like there was nothing, just dirt fields. There's an interstate dirt fields too. Now it's nonstop for miles, and I mean like 20-mile straight stretches of just buildings. So I don't. Yeah, sure, not my backyard. That doesn't mean 3 miles. About 2/3 of respondents called for more government funding to address the parking shortage, including the building of more truck stops and rest areas. Where are they going to build them? You don't want them near your houses, so where are they going to build them? But you definitely still want the product. So, you want the product. You supposedly understand the issues. But let's also go back in time a little bit to the Montana video where that town called truckers dangerous. So, about 43%, so almost half, 400 and some change, said they would support relaxed zoning and land use regulations that could pave the way for more parking. Alright, yeah. Approximately 40% supported giving tax incentives to truck stop operator chains and other private companies to create more parking. But again, where are they going to build it if you don't want them in your backyard? The survey indicated that Americans understand the difficulty of drivers' jobs and the value they deliver. No, not really. The vast majority of respondents thought drivers were overworked. Well, almost everybody can see that. Like, when I was driving nights, I saw a lot of crashes where you could just tell the driver fell asleep. And then it was confirmed later with the actual, press release or whoever, state agency would have reported that driver fell asleep. It's common knowledge drivers are very overworked. About 58% of the drivers were underpaid. And that's been being posted for what, 30 years now at this point? And about 50% said that commercial drivers are safer drivers than the public at large. And see, that's another thing. It's because, trucks, it's one of these the loud minority makes the silent majority look bad, and it's even more multiplied into trucks, because trucks are so big, and when they get into crashes, the damage is relatively larger, like magnitudes larger than car accidents. It is 100% fact that truck drivers are the safest drivers on the road. There's only 1 million trucks on the road. We're in single-digit fatalities where we're found at fault. So, anytime the truck gets in an accident, fatalities involved, it's I think, if I remember right, it's 7% of the time the truck is the issue. That's a whole nother conversation. How there's you get an accident as a trucker, you're pretty much mobs with pitchforks coming after you. That is, you got the DOT, you got the fucking PD or highway patrol, whatever. You got your company, you got their insurance, your insurance. They're all trying to find ways to blame the truck, which is absurd. Not to mention the lawyers. That's that video. If I made that video, I would be ranting and raving all fucking day in that thing. But only 50% think trucks are safe drivers. Have they not? They need to really start paying attention to other cars. Yeah, do I have trucks cut me off when I'm in my truck? Yeah, sure. But for every one truck, there's 7+ cars that do it. So statistically, trucks are what you want around you. Yeah, there's always bad fucking people that shouldn't be driving. For every one bad driver in a truck, there's probably 30 in a car. It's just the way it works. You can't have 1 million trucks be worse than, I don't even know how many cars. Let's just say 200 million cars. That's just not how statistics works. That's the whole bad apple argument, which you'll never convince me otherwise. There's more good in this world than there is bad. But the good doesn't get talked about because it doesn't sell. Nor does the good get people up in their emotions and get them out in the streets or get them out into the voting office. No, bad does. That's why nobody ever reports on the good. But you go to fucking YouTube and just search up good people or, just good cops or good trucker or, something. You'll fucking see thousands of examples. Probably more than that, but that's all there's caught on video. Despite the not in my backyard feedback, the survey's findings gave Cloud Trucks executives optimism that the public at least understands the problem. But do they really? This is just a short 1,000. I'm very pro seatbelt because of 5 years doing towing. I'm very pro seatbelt. I don't even move my car. If you get in my car and the first thing you do is don't seatbelt by the time I'm getting ready to drive away, I'll sit there. And be like, hey, seatbelt. And if you don't want, if you say I don't want to wear it, then you can get your own different ride. It's how I am. I'm not gonna. No. I'm not gonna. Well, not even if I was getting an accident, because and I was willing to not let you wear your seatbelt, but I got an accident, whether I'm at fault or not at fault, and somehow you got thrown out of the vehicle or something happened to you that the seatbelt could have saved you, but it didn't. I don't want to put myself in the situation where I want to blame myself for you. It's the same thing with this. The general public needs a giant education push. And billboard signs on the side of the road saying, here's the bumpers or the cushion zone for trucks. Don't crowd them, right? At least 4 car lanes. No. Need real, like, seatbelt commercials. Come on out. Do them for truck commercials. Do little tidbits. 30 seconds long, hell, even 15 seconds long. Start pushing education. I guarantee you that would start helping eventually with accidents involving trucks. I mean, it's night and day difference over the course of 5 years before seatbelt enforcement to after seatbelt enforcement, where just deaths just plummeted. If I remember right, that was the number one killer of people in automobiles, so it's not wearing a seatbelt back then. Now, I was a little young, so when did that law come out? I might not have been born yet. I think that might have been the 80s. Maybe the 70s. Oh yeah, data wasn't really a thing then too. Like, it was paper data, so it wasn't scanned and uploaded into some form of digital file or actually properly stored. Like, police departments with their paper files back in the day. God, you'd fuck anything I'd done. I just like I had this one conversation with this guy. Okay, he was a general store worker, right? And I was talking to him, and he's complaining that he's working like 40 hours a week. And I was like, I would love to work 40 hours a week and make the money I do now, or hell, even make a fraction of it, right? Because like truckers, like, sort of have to work long hours just to get relatively decent pay. Like, it's one of those weird industries that really needs an overhaul, period. But I was telling him I work 70 hours every week, and he's like, no, you're full of shit. I was like, dude, I'm a trucker. He's like, you're still full of shit. I was like, it's like, trucks, if a trucker's not using a 70-hour clock, he's not maximizing his money. This is in the driver's best interest, which is also overworked and tired all the time, to maximize that clock. Otherwise, they don't make any money. Like, truckers are exempt from overtime with some exceptions for local guys, but generally, even a lot of local companies don't want to pay overtime, or they cap the overtime. So, like, for example, they'll give you 7 hours overtime, but then the rest of the hours say you pretty much work for free, which is absurd. Like, everybody complains about, like, okay, well, first is the ELD problem. Okay, ELDs are forcing drivers to be unsafe and force them to go. No, not necessarily true. Even before ELDs, paper logs that people brag about left and right, where, I average ran out of hours, I just went out and bought a new one, or just forged the current one. So no, it had nothing to do with ELDs. Drivers been doing this before digital shit. The issue is when you're paid by the mile, that creates the go mentality. Is there a fix-all for all this? No. Could you possibly do hourly for overtime? No. Percentage of the load with like a weather delay stop? Like, if you're stuck in Wyoming for 4 days, like I was, like, where the company's giving you $300 a day or whatever. Could that help? Yeah, sure. Maybe. It's a much bigger chance than this by the mile run. Because if I'm doing by the mile, encourages me to run hard every day. Means I'm also not I'm more unlikely to want to stop if I'm starting to get a little, like, I don't know, if I'm sick or if I'm getting tired or whatever. It doesn't encourage me to stop. Because for every mile I don't run, if I stop 2 hours early, okay, 2 hours, 70 miles an hour, that's 140 miles. Let's just do 140 times 60. That's $84 I'm giving up just one day. Now you times that by, if I'm doing that, let's even say just 13 days a month, that's $1,000 I just gave up. Well, $1,100. That makes no sense. But if I'm percentage of the load, my money's guaranteed for that whole trip. Like, for example, let's say 1,500 times 0.60, okay? $900, or that's gonna be what, a 3.5 to 4 day run? No. That's a 3rd day delivery. It's like 2.5, so you're pretty much gonna be delivered the morning of the a third day or the afternoon of a third day. Maybe in the night, depending on what it is. The product really determines it. But if that 1,500-mile load is, let's say, 250, okay? Which you ain't getting that really this in this market. Okay, actually, let's do the current market, okay? Let's do 203. That's $3,000, okay? Let's say the driver gets 0.25 of that. They lose a little bit of money. Wow, that's in a down market. So, not great, always. The money will be up more down this way. But that also, that the percentage pay would also then come with a broker and transparency and broker overhaul, carrier overhaul, a lot of pretty much minimum mileage rates and all that shit. Like, some of the old rules have to come back, which I do agree with. I don't necessarily agree. There's so many problems with the spot market right now where, like, the load boards are broken. I just posted in my Discord, I posted an article about load boards being broken because it encourages double brokers, the wrong dates, wrong information. It's a lot of bait and hook, pretty much. We're going to throw the line out. You're going to agree for this date, this money, but then all of a sudden, the broker will try to pull a fast one and either change something or play it, say, sorry, that was a typo. It's $400 less. Shit like that. And even if you sign the rate con, right? You sign the rate con, agreeing to the typo rate. Some of the brokers are just hold back, like, they won't give you the pickup number unless you agree to run for less. There's little things like that. So there's so much wrong with this industry. Even the general public doesn't understand a lot of things. But this whole industry needs an overhaul. In general public needs a giant educational push. There seems to be finally some form of light in the shadow, like there's a Ship It Act, which does this actually explain anything, or is it just? I mean, $755 million for truck parking isn't gonna do shit. Isn't going to do anything. Here's a fun fact. There is only one parking spot for every 11 trucks on the road. That's why when you see a lot of trucks parked on Rams, it has nothing to do with... Some of them are lazy, yes. Some of them are lazy. Like, you can go into a fucking truck stop, okay? 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 11 a.m. in the morning, right? Perfect times to grab a spot. Especially if you're an early riser or you run nights. Perfect spot, okay? You'll still see guys parking literally in the entrance of the truck stop, like parked along the curb. Even though there's like 400 plus empty spots, like you can get the easiest spots you want. Like whenever at night, I'd be shutting down between like 8 to 10 a.m. and I'd go for the easiest pull through spot, or a spot where easy out, meaning likelihood of me getting blocked in where I gotta wake somebody up, because you wouldn't believe people that park creatively, which I'm not the type of person saying you shouldn't like park on a real spot. No, like, I understand, but if you have somebody come knock on your door, that's because you are in the way. You already knew you're gonna be in the way, so at least pull up, let the person out, then back right back up, or take their fucking spot. They just gave a real spot. I had this guy where he was literally blocking this down there, and oh fuck, is it Tonopah? No, San Simeon, Chevron. Oh my god, San Simeon, that little Chevron, great fucking diesel prices for an owner up. Great prices, right? It's off I-10, over getting close to the New Mexico border. The lot sucks. It gets really packed at night. And the dirt lot, for people who know that area, it's potholed to death, okay? And there's 2 exits, depending on which one you're in. So you go in the fuel aisle, the fuel lane, right? That's the first entrance. You don't try to go leave out of that one ever. You go straight through the fuel pumps on your fuel. You go. Sometimes you can go immediate left, but if there's trucks like just got done feeling pulled up, you can't go immediate left. So you got to go up in the parking area and go down Usually you're forced into a dirt lot because trucks just park at the end of the road, which, okay, fine. Like, then the truck park needs park. So there at least you continue dirt lot. However, though, that dirt lot doesn't have an exit. So you got to come back out into the pavement. However, though, depending on how trucks parked, like I had one where I'm middle of the turn and there's like 4 trucks behind me and I'm stopped and I'm not trying to knock on this guy's door to move him, like, because he's like, nobody can turn out wide enough out of the dirt lot into the pavement because where he's at, next to the fuel pumps, to pull the trailer out. I knocked on his door and I was like, "Hey, dude, can you mind pulling up?" And I was like, "Just pull up, do something, right? Like, we just need like 8 feet more to fucking get out of here." And he's like, "Nope," and he just fucking closed his doors. And I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "Dude, you're like hanging up like 4 trucks behind me. Like, there's 5 trucks trying to get out. We can't get out." There was another guy that I guess, I mean, there wasn't yelling, but he was like a light sleeper or whatever. I guess he heard the pounding, thought it was him or whatever. He looked out his window and he was to the right. He was not in the way. This guy was not in the way because he was tucked up enough where our trailers would clear him. But he went ahead and just moved out of the way completely to give some people, more room, which I thought was cool. He didn't have to because he wasn't the issue. Like, he wasn't the issue. He was already parked up far enough up to where it would have been closed, but he wouldn't have really been the issue. Did he help? Yeah, because it just meant that the trucks behind me could come at a more steeper angle. But you had 3 drivers out there, the truck in front of me, trying to get this guy to fucking move, and it was absurd. I'll wait like an hour in time. 21 minutes already. Gee, time flies. But this is my setup for streaming at home and doing YouTube videos. Camera is down here. It will not be here always. This is just work in progress, still getting there. But I hope you guys like it. I do got 2. Well, let's see. I don't know when I'm gonna do this video, so I don't know if I'll start off on the road with this or it'll be sometime pushed back. I do got 2 exciting videos, and depending on when this video comes out, sorry, I got cat hair on my keyboard. Depending on when this video comes out, you may have already seen them. You know why they were exciting, or you're about to find out soon. But hey, you guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye.